what a blast on that. That's so cute. That was very, very cute. My name is Jessica Holyfield, and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at NEXZ's track entitled Keep On Moving. We have a music video and a dance practice to look at, which I am very excited for. I believe this is also a Japanese track, which I typically prefer with NEXZ or groups that are predominantly all Japanese, because I feel like it's going to feel more authentic in the lyricism and the presentation of tone. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Can't stop, we won't stop, keep on moving. Can't stop, we won't stop, keep on moving. Hey, kimi to iru 내 작은 나를 special energy, African. Hey, you make you want never ending. But the night you want me, come on, la night on me, na 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 na. Oh no 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 no.
Cute.
Keep on. 실패 시작해 okay. Step up to the energy. 신나게 go back in time. Gotta go, yeah. Man, let's go, get it on, yeah. Smooth like a domino, yeah. Na 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 na.
Ooh. Oh, these little AI people. It feels like a video game. I love it. Who's dancing out of sync? That's the name of the game. It's who's dancing out of sync. It's giving Jumanji energy too. I know, I'd be concerned as well. Come on, let's. There's a little sneeze, come on. So fun. Very full energy. Yeah, straight Jumanji vibes, man. Fun. Oh, what a blast on that. That's so cute. That was very, very cute. Very fitting. I loved that. Okay, here we go. Dance practice.
Can't stop, we won't stop, keep on moving. Can't stop, we won't stop, keep on moving. Hey, kimi to iru 내 작은 나를 special energy, African. Hey, you make you want never ending. But the night you want me,
Fun.
la night on me, na 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 na.
That was nice. Yeah.
keep moving on. Hands up, we won't stop.
The intention of the head was really fun on that.
Step up to the elevate. 신나게 go back in time.
Yeah. That was cool. The reversal on that was sick. Ooh, nice. Fun. Nice. That sequence is a lot harder than you think it is. How you don't stop at all. It's literally the epitome of you keep on moving, and if you're off for all of it. Oh, cute.
Keep moving on, keep moving on. We won't stop. Don't stop, no, we don't stop.
Yeah. Love it, love it. Okay, from the top, as always. Now, what's really funny is some people may know this. There's way back in Microsoft Word, this font you would see all over in America. The Chinese menus of like those mom and pop Chinese food shops, they would use that for their menu. And I also use this exact font for one of my computer projects. I had to make a menu, actually, funnily enough. So I thought this is a very nostalgic font for me. I think it's hilarious that we're using it here, because this font I think is older than the boys are, honestly. But I like this little peekaboo moment. Can't stop, we won't stop. It ties into the music video very well, where they're like peeking up behind the couch and he looks and they're not there, but they go and then to very quickly expand back into the column. I love how he literally looks behind. This would be perfect for the relay as well, that whole relay segment that you can do. And they go back in. I love the little point, and everybody does a great job making sure they're seen, and so every pocket matters. So that's really nice to see. Definitely a fan of that. I love the little boop, boop. Can't stop, we won't stop. Won't stop, and I like how he stops it in the air, and they go, let's go. And this right here is a little Harlem Shake variant with a little heel dig on the tail end, and the clap, clap, the back into the front. And I like the little brush that's happening, tap tap, and it's like we're brushing our teeth. It's fun on the percussion side, and they go over and over. So nice hops on that too. That nice hop on that too. And we go, we swim it through, swim, swim, and swim and swim. Really fun. Definitely on the simpler side on their choreo in comparison to what I've seen them do before. Like Miracle was so polyrhythmic in comparison to this. This is still very fun, and I think is very fitting to the type of track it is. And so whenever you have content that is pretty ambidextrous, where you're executing it on both sides, you would want your formations and your dynamics and other things that you choose to integrate in your levels to help supplement for that lack of complexity that people normally expect for your group. Because for me, I come from the position of when I marathon a group, or when I'm very familiar with a group like in NEXZ, I've seen pretty much most of their content at this point. And it's just one of those things where there's a certain expectation of synchronicity, certain expectation of complexity, which is a very natural thing. Your fan base is going to expect that, and the general public who is following the group is also going to expect that. And then also random people who just come across this video. Algorithm works that way too. And so you want it to kind of be where it can hold its own on any fronts, where if you're a fan, you're able to see your bias. If you are just somebody like in my position where you've watched their movement quality progress over the time period from the dance video, pre-debut videos to here, you're able to see them dive into a concept but still hold their own in their brand, which is nice. And then just the general public, they're able to look at it and go, that's a pretty cool choreo, where they're able to, by a layman standard, kind of itemize it to where it's a, hey, like, I like that formation. Like, there's things, focal points, even if it's not the content, there's other aspects that allow us to appreciate the material or the overall essence of the choreo. So that's nice to see. I like the hop there, right there. It definitely gives a little, like a tone wop. Well, it's just like they just cross it in the back, but that was gives a little light feet arm on that. A little, hey, really fun, and then they go and we transition. I like that. So this is one of the very few times I've seen them do the same move on both sides. It's the hops, hops, and hop, hop. It's a very interesting, awkward arm that they did a pretty decent job on keeping clean. Then you have your two on the outside. He's the only one that deviated, and so it made sense because his arm was different. Everyone else had pretty decent arms. Like, this range is pretty great. Like, you could be very proud of it. And regardless if it's simple or complex, getting the more people that you have, like here in this case, it's 7. When you get 7 people to have to do the exact same thing, and I can pause it and it's pretty close, that's a win in my book. You know what I mean? So that's a big note there. I like the little hit there. Super fun. Because, whoo, we recognize that sound. It helps me clock it as a listener, which we really like. I like that do-do-do-do-do. So I like the little heel, toe, little tit-tat-toe, and then they rotate with the wrist on that, and then, so there is polyrhythm still in play. This is a very different rotation than the heel, toe, toe that you just saw. Then they've already lifted the stability on that, boom, with the accent on the tail end. There's your sweep. Now this gives like a pepper seed upper body with a sweep in the lower body, or maybe a fila almost. So like this right here is a lot harder to do than you think. You already have a stability check, meaning that he's kind of like faltering on his balance, but he holds it very well. So they go in, and then from here they boom, they have to vibrate the leg forward as they come up. And I really loved how it's very clear onto the track what they're going for, and then the second time you see it, they don't do it the exact same way. That's what I'm honestly most impressed with, because this is a really cool movement that would be very tempting to just reuse, which you do see in a lot of cases, but they didn't do that here. And I'm glad that they did it, because it actually helps. It helps with keeping it, on that simpler side, but not so simple where we're reusing and recycling, because that can make it feel a little bit redundant faster because you don't have as much complexity to digest with, if that makes sense. So I love that choice. They go in, they have this little reverb at the moment. The subtlety of the head is fun. And then you have some rotations where you have different directions, and then we have this like bump, bump. It's like this little, it's like a little cutesy kind of either singing or like brushing something off, which is fun. And it swings in. I love that snap, boom, and it helps us getting to our next transition. So this little hop right here, going front, back, come on. It's like we're jump roping. Let's go. A little higher. This is just straight cardio is what this feels like, right? And then fire, right? Cool, good wordplay. And then a little chicken wing vibes, which is nice to get us to a different transition. Then we bring it back in with a little tap on the heel, and then we switch up the arms. Like we're about to Harlem shake again, but not quite. Then we do a little pony, and then we go, let's go. And then nice little hop right here. It definitely feels like we did like a high five in essence with each other, which I think was really cute. And then I like the ball changes where they're picking up the back leg and they're using it to create a direction change. So I love that. We come back in, and I like how they're letting the head infiltrate in the movement, not just the brush of the arms, but also the head too. And it goes, and then instead of hitting them with the high five, they hit it with the knuckles, so it feels slightly different, because it is. I like this right here. Ba, da, da, da. It's cute, but not like childish, right? It's youthful. And there's a really fine line with that, especially when you get with people who are getting to like the later teens and the early 20s. You can go for that really young aesthetic, but you don't want it to come across like you're not acting your age. You know what I mean? Like there's like a difference between, I don't know, like the best way to put it is I want it to still feel like authentic. And when somebody goes to a too young of a concept, then it feels like you're just playing a character. And it doesn't feel as believable, and it makes me not want to dive into the track as much as you want me to. But here it feels very youthful, and it feels more genuine because from other factors, of course, outside of what has just been mentioned. But I digress. I really do like them doing this concept. It's very fitting on them. Fun. That little swing right here on the legs, which is really nice. I love that boom, boom, little speed change, and it goes, hey, right there onto the heels. And so the upper body was nice and clean. The lower body, it felt more individualized, didn't it? Yeah, so some of them had their legs more separated, so that'd be my note there. Keep it moving, and then bring it over. So I like that choice. I like a little stop, and we drop. And then we go hit and da-da, so I like that little hit there, and the little hit with the heels. Yeah, the cheers is fun. Then we go high to low, which is really nice. Body roll, or we're traveling the energy down using the rotation of the fingers, and we're ranging from one side to the other, which is nice. Definitely gives like a subtle reject energy, which is nice. And the hops are cute. And that right here, just the subtlety of the head is so fitting here. So your feature's the only one who doesn't use his head on that. Move top. and then right here into your body, like boom, with the accent on the legs. And they're using that chug. It's like a little baby chug that creates a staccato effect to get them to rotate to the other side. So it was a fun way to encompass your feature. We won't stop. And then we go drop down. And then when they have a little knocking on the back, switching of the heels. And it goes, and I like how we're recognizing that little alarm sound. Going into verse 2, let's go. And they're doing little MJ chugs, which I think is really fun. The little whoop whoop. We're hitting everything, every little tone, every little hype moment. I love to see that because in the visual sense of things, instead of just a like cool suave moment, it's like a ooh, like we're fully committed even in the little details, which allows me to appreciate it more holistically. So I like that boom boom and a swing swing, which is really fun. Da da da. I think one of my guys was just a little bit off over on the side. I like the little head. Come on now. And I like how we did that again, and then we roll roll roll, which I think is super fun. With the knees, the commitment there is really fun. And the usage of the core, whew, bless it. Like these kinds of oppositional kind of movements with the upper body and the leg are deceptively fatiguing because you have to use your core to pull that. And when you reset, it's very quick on their speed changes. So I hope they warmed up before they did this because I would have needed to. Ooh. I like the little brush right there. I like how they go hello with the high five, and they bring it back and then trip trip trip. Well, it goes really slow, and then we trot it back, which is fun. And then we hit it through. I love the doing the same thing again, which is fun. And then right here, definitely feel it's just a kick. It's just a kick step right here into the diagonal, which I find really fun. There's your wave, and they end up like if there's like a little energy right here, they're traveling the wave in it, which I think is really fun. And then we dig through. So I love that with the hop on that. Then same thing as what we've already seen, right? We've already seen that different formation, which definitely makes it feel repackaged. You have the every other windows. This right here, roller, 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 more individualized with everybody. He stopped, he dropped his leg a little too early. That's just what happens when you're trying to make sure you don't fall. Then from here, they end up bringing this up. So instead of they just bring this leg up versus kicking it down. Ooh, that's just so cool. The phrasing on that was sick. Yeah, don't speed. Boom. And I like the pull on that is really fun. So the same thing. So out to the side and front to the higher. Other side. Fire, fire. Little chicken wing. Boom, boom, boom. And they pick it up. This little sneeze energy on the tail end. So it's the same thing as what we've already kind of seen. Different person. I think it's a different person in the middle, right? Hit and da da da. Switch it out. So it gives the impression that it's very easy. This is not easy. Like to get it this clean for starters. Secondly, to actually go this full out the whole time and make it look easy is hard. Like so there's a lot of like subtle polyrhythms and syncopations that they're doing to interrupt the flow, but they're doing it in a way that's very fitting and tasteful that makes you appreciate or really reinvest in that phrase, right? Which is fun. I love that little stop. That was really fun. Just what we saw the first time. Boom, boom, boom. And with nice little kick, they point down, the accent the legs. They pick up through. So same thing. Da, 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 da. And I like the bleed over to the side. Nice feature over on stage right. Don't stop. Yeah. This right here, boom, I love. You know, it says so it sounds more like liquidy, right, in sound. It feels like we're in the like an aquarium or something. I don't know, but how he chooses to go more legato is really nice because it feels very fitting to recognize that tone is now shifted. So our movement quality and posture should also shift, and that's exactly what you see. The turn is fun, nice little moment. Hi, like the pick up of the knee, little sweep around. He takes it through. I'm not quite sure what he was going for in this moment. It was a pot of it, right? Maybe he was trying to go for a wave. I don't know. It did feel a bit incomplete, but that's whatever. He was having a little moment. We love it. The bleed up is fun. Then this bleed through. Ba, 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 ba. That goes on. Boom, boom, boom. Right on his tone. Ba, da, da, da. And then we take the arm and we make it a fun little fixed point action. Nice little doom, doom. Like we're wagging our finger at someone, which is fun. And we pull it through. I love that. And then we had the head. Boom, with the head ISO. Come on. I do think one of my guys in the back, I think he accented a little too far down for the spacing in which he was in, so that would be my note there. It could just be because we have the 5 and then he's right here, just because he went front and the spacing's off between these two, it just felt a bit off. So I would have him scoot over literally like 1 foot, not even a foot, you know? That's my big note there. Come back in, hit through, and we turn, nice little and then we go, rotate it back in, nice little peace sign. And a nice little snap. I really love that, and because you hear this chant, it feels very communal, feels very unison, right? So having them do this very communal, we're singing together, having a great vibe, it's a really good way to shift from that bridge that they had that was more chill into something like we're building up our energy again. Get with us, you know, come on. That's definitely what you see people do. They're like, hey, let's go, you know? So I like that we have that built in here. The turn is fun. 5. Turn it to the other side. I love how they go and then they reverse it back. It's really cute. There's your smees, but they end up changing directions on the smees. So I like that instead of going one way to another. It's a very predictable structure, but going here and then going front to still maintain your spacing. It's good. Subtly complex. We love it. They come in. Come on. And they go boom, boom. And I like this right here. It goes percussion. I love that front back, and I like how they're accented on stage left versus they're accented on stage right when that happens. That boom, hey, it's a nice little delay, which we like. It goes to high and high, which we like. Ba-na-na, da-na-na, nice little points coming out of that too. We love a good little sway. And then they brush the arms, which we love too. They do a little pas de bourrées, and they're making it feel way more full because of what? The torso, which we love to see. If they're really stiff, it's not going to feel as full, but because they let the torso get involved, there's more for us to see, more ground covered in the space. We love that. And then from here, I love the pickup there. Really nice stable finish. There's your kick, little Indian step, top rock, and then right here, this whole sequence is really deceptively hard because if you miss one thing in the phrase, you will be off. So watch. So it goes kick, Indian step. Then from here, they end up switching. So a lot of times people will want to kick it to the side, but they end up kicking across, and that helps with the direction change. Then from here, they go into a little reject while taking the torso. So it's like going from the Indian top rock switch to reject. It changes how your torso is supposed to be doing it. And then it goes hop, hop on the tail end. And then they kick again. And then that's the switch up on the leg. That's wild. Okay. The hop, hop. So they take it, they kick on the left, and then they step on that leg, take the other leg, and then they step again, and then they take the leg, they rotate it and use it as a swivel to create a direction. That's really tricky, and that would have been a nightmare to clean, honestly. I think the part of it is they're just gonna have to memorize that order. So all that to say, like, some of the torsos end up changing where you're interrupting an Indian top rock flow, going into interrupting a reject flow, into you're switching up and adding an extra step and not a kick, but like a lifted leg step into a rotation that requires you to kind of not fix point, but have your upper body a little bit more parallel to the floor in order for that visual to come to life. Like that's a lot. Yeah, that right there, you see what I mean? So like having them go low in order for the visual of the leg to be bigger and the lift to be higher. Whew, so shout out to the choreographer for coming up with that nightmare of a sequence, but it looks really cool, and I think it's a really fitting way to show like it's deceptive because it still feels simple, right? Because of their execution and because of their smiles and their tone and how they're singing, and also their, I would say the type of range that's being explored here is similar that we've seen more itemized throughout the track. So it's really nice to see. I like the little kick with the brush, it's super fun. And there's just right here, normally we're seeing more of the chicken flaps, but we see it a little bit more subtly here. Boom, boom. I like that on the horns that we hear here, there. Bring it up. That little pony with a body roll, which I love. Na. Oh, what is that? There's a name for that move. Okay. So I thought, it literally reminds me of, what does it remind me of? All that right there reminds me of, you know, the track Jump On It. We go pom 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 da, 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 da. That mess right there, that's what it reminded me of. In like a great way. Okay, anyway. Moving it through the ba da 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 with a little twirl. I think that's fun. And they rotate, which is fun. That's a little pump. I like a little suave pump where you can take it, little action, which we like. Don't stop, so they all go to the side, and then you have your two right here. So I think they're all nice and still, which I actually really like the fact that they're low-key kind of, I don't know, very complimentary in their choices. So he goes forward and he throws the energy there. They kick, ball change, which we love. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Now the question is, were they going on the syllables? They could have pulled keep moving on, keep moving on, but that's a really tricky timing thing that they would have had to really pull over and do. But it looks really fun. And I like how they're held here. They grab each other. Really nice. They're not really looking at each other. I would say one of them is. Then he throws the arms down. Don't stop. Everybody go to their respective corners, and then your feature is front. And we finish. Nice and tired. So in general, I really like NEXZ whenever they tackle tracks that are in Japanese, for the reasons I already kind of stated right before in the intro. And this was a really fun track on them, and it makes me excited to see if we're going to continue to dive in this realm, or are we going to take a different direction depending on as they get older, as their discography develops and matures. I think this is really fun watch. I enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. If you want to see more NEXZ, I early release all material that I look at on Patreon first, and then it follows a schedule based on what the happenings are each day on YouTube. And so if you're like, Jess, I don't want to wait ever to watch these, Patreon's perfect to go and get early access, no problem. And if you're like, Jess, I don't want to commit, but I am curious about what you look at every day outside of what you do on YouTube, Patreon, they have a free member option you can go and look at, and you can just join that, and you'll at least get to see everything that I look at every day. So if you're like, ooh, she's on a really good run, I would love to contribute in that way. You can, but also I'm totally fine with the YouTube side. I enjoy the discussions on both ends respectively. Once again, my name is Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.